Yo, people, it is IG Reaper Rex. This will be What If Luffy was Jack Sparrow. First, I'd like to thank you all for 71 subscribers. This idea isn't mine, it's an idea for a subscriber, hopefully, called Matthew Farrell. Sorry for not posting for 5 days. I was really thinking hard about the idea because I've only watched Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl. That's the only movie I watched of the series, so yeah, pretty tough. And I've never done an anime crossover with a movie, so yeah, I've mostly done anime on anime, so you understand me. Anyways, I hope this is what you expected, Matthew Farrell. If not, well, I'm sorry. So, we start off. It's gonna go pretty smoothly, I hope, okay? So we start off with Luffy, who is, like usual, born in the East Blue, but it's the east of the Caribbean Sea, not the entire sea. So yeah, and he's just chilling, enjoying his life, and then after a few days after that, yes, he just one day goes to the forest and he finds a weird chest. Yo, people, sorry for that. So, if in a few minutes you hear some background noises, please ignore them. So, like I said, Luffy, he found a weird chest. And he opened it out of curiosity since it was small and stupid. He didn't know anything about the world. After opening the chest, he just started losing consciousness. After losing consciousness, Luffy woke up in a dark area, basically his mindscape. And there, he saw the silhouette of a weird-looking man. Then he was pretty scared, but he calmly asked, "Who are you, sir?" And the silhouette responded, "Kid, I am Captain Jack Sparrow, the strongest pirates in the Caribbean." Luffy didn't know who that was because he was too young. Even people from his village just barely knew about who Jack Sparrow truly was. He was more of a legend than anything real to people. And Luffy, he said, "Are you a pirate? Are you here to hurt me?" Jack Sparrow replied with, "No, kid. You have touched my chest. The chest that you touched. It was mine. And now, since you found it, you get my powers." And Luffy was surprised and kind of shocked, because he never expected that he would get powers, because it was pretty rare. And Luffy said, "Well, when am I gonna get them?" And Jack Sparrow just said, "Well, kid, After your training, you shall receive my power. So let's start. And then we're gonna time skip when Luffy's 16. Luffy has been training under Jack Sparrow for a whole lot of time. He has gotten stronger. Now, for his powers, he's gonna have the death fruit. Now, that sounds OP as hell, but I nerfed it. So, he will just be able to summon a skeleton army, and he can become a skeleton himself. And but temporarily, And now, there's not really a cooldown, honestly, bro. I can just do it whenever he wants. It's that simple, bro. And for other things he's learned, well, he did a lot of physical training, which he's like basically has the strength of like 10 men. Well, yeah, that would be reasonable. And he also learned how to use the sword. He became a pretty good swordsman, and he learned the technique to harden his sword, actually. And he decided to call it hockey. And, yeah. Basically turned his sword black, and it hardened it, and sharpened it, and almost making it able to cut anything. Yep, that was, at least all the years have paid off. So, after that, Luffy, who had suddenly disappeared for all these 6 years. Oh, not 6 years, just all these years, finally woke up. He wasn't found. And people didn't really care because he wasn't really an important person. After waking up, he checked out his body. And he was pretty proud of himself because of the amount of power he felt and how, his muscle has grown. So, yeah. Now, after that, he just took a boat, just a rowboat, and just chilled for a moment. Then he was just swallowed by a wave, and he thought he was gonna die. But there's one thing that he didn't know about himself. He had extreme luck. Yep. He could survive basically anything. Basically, luck was on his side, no matter what. And he miraculously survived that. He miraculously survived that. And he ended up on a random ship. He hid for a while. And then he discovered that he was in the ship of Lady Patricia, who was a well-known female pirate in the Caribbean. He wasn't really scared because he knew he was stronger than her. And yeah. So, after analyzing how he could win the battle, he just started massacring the people on her ship, knocking them out left and right, just summoning skeletons to beat them up, just like that. So yeah, like I said, he beat up the people. He summoned skeleton to beat them up. and then he came in front of Lady Patricia of the Patricia Pirates. He was confident, but he kept his composure. And then he drew his sword, and Lady Patricia drew her mace, and they started clashing. Luffy was having the upper hand, however, and then he put Haki in his sword finally, and he slashed the mace of Lady Patricia in two. After that, he kicked Lady Patricia into oblivion. She was never to be seen again. And then he took her ship and just customized it. He made the sails black with the logo of himself. Since he wore a straw hat, since he was born, he always loved straw hats. So he made a skull with a straw hat in it and decided to call his crew the Undead Straw Hats. He just set sail with himself and his skeletons, whom he later named, but that won't be specified. He also saw that they had personalities, and he just didn't unsummon them unless needed. All of them were strong as 10 men, just like him. And they set sail to the other island. Now, this island was a marine base, but Luffy told his crew to hide the ship, and so they did. After that, Luffy just stepped in the island, and just a girl ran up to him and begged him to save a person who was about to be executed. That person was the girl's dad, and he told Luffy that he was being illegally executed by the captain's son, and there was nothing they could do about it because they didn't have strength. So Luffy got pretty angry and was thinking about how corrupt the government is, and he just patted the girl's head and reassured her that everything was going to be alright and he was going to help her father. And then he just started walking with the girl towards the execution place. He saw that when he arrived, he saw that the dad seemed starved to death, almost. He was furious that even after all that, he was just gonna die like that. A true man. Like I said, Luffy didn't want a true man who has suffered for his family to die at the hands of Marines. So he decided to save him. As soon as he was about to get executed, Luffy jumped in like a hero. He summoned his sword and slashed the executioner's arms off. The executioner screamed in pain. Luffy kicked him in the head into a wall and knocked him out. He was probably gonna bleed to death, but that didn't matter. What mattered was the safety of the old man. Luffy gently untied the laces that kept him tied up, and he carried the man outside. He gave him back to his family, and then Captain Miles, Axe Hand Miles, was standing in front of him, ready to strike him down. But Luffy summoned his skeletons. They ganged up on Miles and almost killed him. But they killed him with no mercy because of what he was going to do to a civilian. Luffy wasn't the type of person who was going to let a Marine get away with doing whatever they want. And after that, Luffy knocked out the sun, letting him live to teach him a lesson about what will happen if he continues to do something stupid again. Now, after that, he just set sail, continuing his journey. He reached plenty of islands, saved many of them. He started becoming known throughout the seas of the Caribbean as the undead captain, Sparrow D. Luffy. Yes. He was wanted for $1 million Caribbean dollars, which is a whole lot compared to the One Piece. If a person catched him, they could live, generations could live off their money. So a lot of people set sail to try to catch the infamous Captain Sparrow D. Luffy. But of course they didn't. They couldn't. He was just too overwhelming for them. And now we go to him, going to his next island. The next island was an island that had a lot of dictatorship. It was known as Lock Island. It was an island where people came for references, and mysteriously most of them died or were just kept there and never left the island for odd reasons. And Luffy was getting suspicious of what was happening. So he went there. And then Luffy, yes, he just sat there, waited there. And he was met by some weird people. These people were suspicious. So, these people were suspicious, but he didn't say anything. Then they asked him to follow them. Luffy did this without hesitation, because what could they possibly do to him? Like, there was nothing they could do to him. So he followed them. Um, then they led him to the place of the so-called boss. The boss was known as the controller, the manipulator, Krieg. Krieg was the leader, was the one who was doing the dictatorship on the island. Luffy stayed calm, trying not to be angry, trying not to release his anger. And he somehow succeeded. So yeah. And after that, he was talking but he was talking with the boss, and he pretended to not know anything at all, but then he just was getting too suspicious and stood up suddenly, surprising everyone, and said, "Look, I know who all of you are, and I am here to stop you." He removed the disguise that he put up recently and revealed himself as Captain Sparrow de Luffy. The people, they were panicking because they never knew that the infamous Sparrow de Luffy of the Caribbean would be there. Yeah, would just be there. So yeah. Then Luffy just took his sword and slammed it down at the boss, cutting him in half, just like that. And then he did the same for the rest. He then proceeded to throw them into the sea, for them to never be seen again. And then after that, he was satisfied with what he had done. So he left without saying a word. After that, he went back to his crew, and he was happy to see them, actually, because it had been a few days since he's last seen them. So yeah. Then after that, they set sail again and again, and Luffy was tired. Yep. He was just tired of not saving people, but of going from island to island. The ocean there was just too boring. So then he went on to try to find something fun to do, just something that could interest him. For months he didn't find anything, but then he found something interesting, something exceptional. It was a ship, but it was a different ship. It had black sails like his ship, but it was more terrifying and ghostly. He really wanted this ship because he thought it was a ship fitting of himself. So he tried to claim the ship easily, but he saw a crew of men, and there was a captain already. He was a well-known pirate in the Caribbean. His name, he was the so-called arch enemy of Jack Sparrow. People never knew how he was still alive. his name was Hector Barbosa. He had a lot. He lived for a long time, almost 150 years. And that was insane. Luffy saw that and immediately was on guard. He summoned 10 skeletons behind him, and they charged. They battled for days and nights. And Luffy came out victorious, holding Barbosa's head, threw the bodies into the ocean and left them to die, to just be forgotten. Yes, left them to be forgotten in this pirate era. He had obtained the Black Pearl, changed the sails. They changed the Jolly Roger to fit his, and he just saw that the ship was cool, and yeah, he felt like he could explore the whole world with this ship. And then he found a map, a very special map. This map could lead him outside the Caribbean Sea, a dream that every man in the Caribbean Sea would have wanted. The dream of exiting the cursed sea of the Caribbean. Luffy finds the map. Find out what happens next in the next video of What If Luffy was Captain Jack Sparrow. Yep, this will be the end because I literally did not have any other ideas. I'm sorry if it's way shorter than usual. I might make a part 2 if you want, if you really want to, I can do a part 2, yeah. So yeah, guys, thank you all for listening. Please consider liking and subscribing. Also, please share with your friends, and bye.